Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. As you can see, come down the canal. It's about 4:45 AM now. I've come out for a couple of hours before the world wakes up and before the boaters hopefully wake up. Just have a couple of hours with the float rod. I've got my Daiwa Tournament Pro with me, 15-foot rod. My Garcia 506 Mark II, a Drake Waggler. I've got a bit of Sensas 3000 Groundbait, Gros Gardons Groundbait, half a pint of maggots and a bit of bread. Nice and simple today. We're just going to catch whatever we can really, just from this stretch here. This is a stretch I visited, a month or so back now. There's some nice fish in here, some nice roach, hybrids, bream, perch, and the odd chub as well. So it'd be nice to connect with one of those. Right, I'm not going to waffle. Time is ticking. Let's get on with it. So I'm just sat below a flight of locks. As you can probably see, you can see down the canal, just at the bottom flight of the flight of locks. Hopefully, we can have a few fish out. Not adverse to a move if we're struggling, but only fished here once before. As I say, we had, what did we have? A couple of bream, nice roach, and a perch. So there's clearly a few fish around. This is the Stratford South Canal. It can be rather less than productive, shall we say. Very, very patchy fishing in here, as a rule. Which is why I say we might go for a wander, because it could be that we just don't get a bite at all. That's not beyond the realms of possibility in any way. That we just can't connect with anything. Right. Just wondering for a minute then if I'd remembered my floats. There we go. Going to use a little Drake Waggler. Put that on a float adapter. Well, I say a float adapter. Float adapters that I make at home. I've used a few of the proprietary float adapters, and I find them all a bit rubbish, really, to be honest. They all seem to break before too long. So all I use is a tiny little swivel inside a bit of anti-tangle sleeve. And it works brilliantly. Right, we'll start off fine on an 18. We'll start off on Maggot. I've just got some red maggots. And as I say, a few slices of bread. Right. Let's see if we can get a fish. Or two or three. Well, a few fish moving. Something's just dimpled down there and in here. I'm just thinking this extra bit of oxygen created by this lock bypass, this lock sluice I'm sat next to here. You might have the fish in here because it's quite, there we go. Oh, blimey. It's quite a hot day yesterday. This feels quite maybe like a bream or a hybrid. Well, that didn't take long. It's charging about. There we go. Fairly easy because we've got a very light bottom on. Blimey, it's off. It's over the canal. What is it? I've not seen it yet. I don't think it's going fast enough to be a chub. Although, having said that, it might be. Oh, blimey. I just got a glimpse of it then. Oh, it is a chub. It's a nice one as well. Wow. I wonder if we can Sneak him in without him really knowing what's going on. I got him. We got him. Sorry if you didn't see that. Canal chub. Well, we'll give him a second to recover in there. A canal chub, that's wonderful. Now you might think I'm getting a bit overexcited about a canal chub, but they're very, very rare in this area. I've only heard about them in this one particular spot in here, and yeah, that was my thoughts as to why to come here. Yeah, they're very rare on this canal, and I've got one. Brilliant. Right, we'll let him have a little rest, and then we'll have a look at him. There's a proper one as well. I don't think he was going quite fast enough to be a chub, and then I caught a little glimpse over there. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, that's made it worth getting up at stupid o'clock. Fantastic. Right, let's have a look at him. Get him unhooked and have a look at him. Oh, he's a lovely chub. Wow, that's a chub. Cool, blimey, he's covered in lice, which we'll relieve him of. Absolute family of lice on his head. Right, there you go, mate. You're better off now. God, tiny little hooks. Well, that's about that. Early morning chub. Wonderful stuff. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm over the moon with that, as you can probably tell. Wonderful. Right. We shall keep him in the edge here just for 10 minutes. Just see if we can winkle another one out. Because I know Chub, and he'll soon go down there and tell all his mates that I'm here. So we'll have a few more casts before we put him back. But yeah, I'm over the moon with that. Absolutely over the moon. Wonderful. We might be all right, because as soon as I hooked him, he tore off over the other side of the canal. So hopefully we might not have spooked his mates, but we'll find out, won't we? That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now, while I'm sat here, I might as well fill you in on what's been happening. You haven't seen me for, and if you look at the dates, a couple of weeks. Since you last saw me, I think the last video I was on Manor at Linear, doing a bit of tench fishing. Well, I actually returned to do a little bit more tench fishing a week later. So I set about finding a spot. I found a spot which was reasonably clear at about 14 wraps, which I could just about reach on my tench rods. Just for those of you who don't follow carp fishing, a wrap is 12 feet, generally speaking. It's generally accepted that a wrap is 12 feet. So I was fishing at, as I say, 14 wraps. Sorry, I thought we were having another bite then. I could just about reach that distance. So I fished and fished and fished. Started about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So by the time I got fishing, it was about lunchtime. And fished on throughout the day without much, the odd little tap, but nothing concrete. There's a couple of guys in next to me who were, again, were carp fishing on the top. They were not doing too good, although they had done. I think one of the two had 3 carp. The biggest was about 41, I think. So he'd done all right. But still, again, the tench were, the odd little touch I was getting were very finicky. I almost thought it was like rudd or something, which it could have been. So I wasn't particularly doing any good. There was the odd fish showing, but really all over the place, not in any particular spot. And certainly not where I was fishing. It's very, very weedy in that area. Really, really weedy. Anyway, so by the time it started to get dark, nothing really had happened. So I thought I'd have a wander around next door. The two guys to my left had actually gone by then, but they had the swim booked till the next morning. So I thought, well, I can move in here if I want to. So I went around and had a look, and there was tench rolling everywhere. Absolutely all over the place. I thought, well, I can't ignore this. So I got round there. The guys had told me it was really, really weedy, which my swim was as well. Got in there and really, again, struggled to find a spot in this sort of little bit of daylight I had left. I found one reasonably clear spot, but it certainly wasn't clear. And I thought, well, we'll set up for the morning, because tench fishing on naturals is not particularly good during the night. We'll set it for the morning, see how we get on. So I fished through the night, but as expected, nothing doing. So I woke up the next morning, and I had tench rolling everywhere from 2 rod lengths out to 100 yards out. All over me, to the left, to the right, absolutely everywhere. They were going crazy. Could I get a bite? I was scratching my head, wondering what I had to do to get a bite. And I realised that the tree next to me, this big tree in the water, was absolutely rocking. It's been knocked about. And I'd put it down. I'd seen this the previous evening, but there's some coots nesting in there, some moorhens or coots, I'm not sure. There's certainly some moorhens about in there, and they kept squabbling and fighting. There's a nest in there as well, and I put it down to the birds. Well, I took a bit more notice. I noticed it wasn't the birds at all. I thought, there's only one thing this is, that the fish are spawning. They're in the tree, they're in the roots, they're in the branches that are in the water, and they're spawning. Anyway, I sort of started paying a bit more attention to this tree, and yeah, soon enough, tench came out, flopped over. Tench is spawning, no wonder I can't get a bite. Absolute nightmare. So yeah, fishing for what I didn't realise was spawning tench, so packed up and went home. One thing did happen though. The previous day when I was really struggling, I decided during the day to put a zig out, see if I could catch a carp. So I realised the tench weren't playing ball for whatever reason. I hadn't quite sussed they were spawning at that point. And I thought, one of the 3 rods, I'll chuck out on a zig for a carp. Anyway, I just sat there watching the rods. I think it was, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it absolutely melted off. This thing just screamed off. I mean, I was sat right by the rods. I was on it within a second. Picked the rod up, and it's solid in the weed. Well, I tried every single trick in the book to shift it. I tried letting it take a bit of line, which it did. Didn't free itself. I tried pulling, which not great. Didn't free itself. Anyway, in the end, the hook link parted, unfortunately. Obviously, fishing zigs, fishing fairly light hook links. The hook link parted. So that was that. It was a bit of a rubbish session in the end. But I've spoken to the fishery manager down there this week, and he tells me they finished now. So I should be back fairly shortly. And we'll have another go, see if we can catch some tench down there before the season starts. Well, I've not had any more bites in here. But perhaps not too surprising. It'd be nice to have a nice roach, or even a few bream or hybrids. Get a great scrap off a hybrid, don't you? That'd be nice. Sun is just coming up, as you can see. You probably can't see over there. Beautiful along here. Great stuff. So awkward to see how float this in all the reflections there. Oh, hello. something up there, look. Something's just moved. It's a bit of a sort of breamy type roll, wasn't it? Hello. Oh, I missed that. I think that was a bite. Oh, I'll probably take this off. It's a bit chilly this morning. I'll soon warm up, I think. It's just running down the canal nicely, that float. Might help if I could throw the maggots in the water rather than on the bank. Put a bit more smell in. I've got nothing in this groundbait at all, apart from the groundbait itself. I just wanted it for the smell, really. I don't generally, as a rule, like to put feed in groundbait, purely because I like to be able to control how much feed I put in. I think we're just dragging bottom there. So it just keeps going under. Let's shallow up a tiny bit. Just a smidge. There we go. There's a couple of places it just drags under. Well, we're not getting too many bites, but it's the odd fish move in here, so I'm not going to be in a rush to move, I have to say. I think we'll do okay here. I think we'll get a few bites. But a very finite amount of time as well. Well, because I've got a busy day myself. But aside from that, as soon as the boat start moving, they're just going to wreck it anyway. So get a bit of smell down there, get a bit of groundbait down there, and as soon as the locks start opening and the boats start moving, firstly this place will be like the Wyand flood, it'll be tearing through. It's a very shallow canal, but also they just wash all your, as the boats go past, they just wash all your bait away. All the ground bait that I've got down there on the bottom will just be dispersed everywhere. So not only do you have to put some more ground bait down, but the smell of your ground bait is everywhere. So in my experience, it's short little hit and run sessions. There we go. Short little hit and run sessions when the boats aren't moving. I thought we'd get another bite. We just switched over to single maggot. I'm not sure what this is. Tearing about again. Feels a bit roachy. Oh, it's a perch. A little stripy. We could just about lift him out. No, let's net him. Being a bit cavalier. He's not that small. Lovely job. Right. Mr. Chubb's down there. There we go. Keep still. There we go. Lovely little perch. Fantastic. One more look at this chub before we put him back. Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Chubb. Right, let's get him back. Oh, there goes the perch. Perch has let himself go. Right. There we are. Back you go, fella. There he goes. He was hanging about. Fab. Well, that's great. Thought we would get some more bites. I think we'll stick it out here, certainly for now. It's a bit of a lottery as to what time the boats start moving. They may start at, you might not see a boat till 10 o'clock. But, I've had them through as early as 6 before now. So it's just one of those. You never quite know. There's something going on over there now. Something charging about. Big bow wave just gone across the canal. I think we might have some fish feeding, and the predators are joining in. Did think about bringing a Zander rod actually, but I didn't in the end. So I thought, let's just keep the tackle to an absolute minimum. You know, if I bring a Zander rod, I've then got to bring some baits as well. And I thought, no, quick smash and grab, quick raid, and we'll get back home for breakfast. Absolute opposite of going to somewhere like Linear, where you've got so much kit. It's nice to do something a bit different. Literally just grab a tiny little bit of gear and away you go. I think perhaps the locks are starting to get opened. This flow and this sort of bypassy thing has certainly picked up. We got the bottom again now. I'm going to pull this float straight into it, let it run down. It's nice having this bit of productive canal not far from home. The other sort of productive stretches of canals I've fished in the past are sort of half an hour, 40-minute drives. So it's nice having this one on the doorstep. I got here in less than 10 minutes this morning. Problem with this canal is it's so coloured. Even, you know, in the morning when the boats haven't been moving all night, there's still barely an inch or two of visibility. So you really have to drop the bait right on the fish's nose for him to find it. No bream this morning, which I'm surprised about. Bit of a surprise. Ubiquitous canal species, certainly around here. There we go. What's this? Just sank out of sight then. Float. Doesn't feel massive. It's a bit perchy again. What is it? What on earth is this? Oh, it's a tiny little Zander. Well, there you go. Tiny little Zander on a maggot. I certainly wasn't expecting that. Wonderful. Never seen a Zander that small before. Fantastic. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting on single maggot, but that's why I love using maggots. Everything likes a maggot. Well, it's certainly been worth getting up this morning. There we go. Another little perch. Well, the perch is certainly around. I said I'm amazed we haven't had any bream or hybrids. Or even a roach. We'll perhaps try a bit of bread in here for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll, if nothing happens, we'll have a move. There we go. Something else. What's this? We're getting a few bites now. Not of anything of any size. I think the shoulder perch have moved in. What's this? Or is this a nice roach? Oh, it is. Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh. Oh, perhaps we'll stay. What a beautiful roach that is. Wow. Oh. What a clunker. Well, what am I doing talking about moving? Well, little fat fella. Not sure, maybe spawn bound. I thought roach spawned fairly early in the year. May have just been eating all my groundbait. What a fish. Absolutely wonderful. Wow. Beautiful. Well, what a morning this has turned it out to be. And, yeah. I don't think I'm going to move now. Right. She's recovering in the net. I presume it's a she with a belly like that. But, as I say, I thought the roach were very early season spawners. But I may be wrong. We'll let it recover in the net, and then we'll return her. Oh, what a session. Certainly worth getting up for. Well, guys, we'll just have one more look at this roach before we put it back. Just put it on the scales, 1.3 pounds. Not a great weigher of fish, but certainly a venue best, if not a canal best for me. Wonderful. Right, let's get it back. There you go, my darling. Wonderful. Well, what a wonderful bit of sport, and we've been at it an hour and a half. Certainly some fish moving down there. But, yeah, I'm not going to move, certainly at the moment. Not for catching fish like that. What's this? Feels like a little perch again. Yes. Little stripey. Just put a ball of groundbait in and just followed it through with the maggots. Oh, that was a bit cavalier. A bit bigger than I thought he was. He's certainly not big, but bigger than I thought he was. Should have perhaps put the net under him. Oh, it just went down. Came back up and I thought, oh, I've missed that. And then it went down again. Well, I'm guessing it's probably a perch from the bite. Yes. He had one go at it and then another go. Oh, it's dropped off. There you go. That's my fault for being cavalier. Never mind. I was just thinking, actually, it's about 10 to 7 now. We hadn't had a bite for a while. And I was just thinking about knocking it on the head. I think I will give it just 10 minutes. But I think really this sun is done for us. You can probably see on the water here where the sun is touching the water, and that's where I was getting bites before, and there's just nothing happening there. That time the float ran right through to the bit of shade that's on the water, and that's where I just got that bite. I'll flick it a bit further down. I think really we're done for now. As I say, they did forecast when I went to bed last night. It was forecast to be overcast this morning, and I thought, oh, that's great, you know, sport won't be killed off when the sun gets up, but clearly that's not the case. As I say, there's barely a cloud in the sky, to be honest. I can't see any. Looks like it's going to be a very lovely day. No, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. I've had an absolutely wonderful couple of hours, just over 2 hours. Really, really enjoyed that. It's absolutely fantastic. As good as I could have possibly hoped it would be. Yeah, it's very, very enjoyable indeed. So next time I'm out, I will be back down linear, back on Manor after the tench. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that half as much as I did. I had a really, really enjoyable couple of hours down here. Sightlines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support. And I'll see you all again very soon.